The story of Luchadora is it's about a young woman, and she finds a pink mask in her grandmother's briefcase, and it unfolds a story of the grandmother's past.
What does luchador mean? It means wrestler.
A luchador is more than just a wrestler, Mika. A luchador is a real-life superhero.
In this journey, the young Nana Lupita decides she wants to train to be a luchadora. And my character, the mask maker, is the one who teaches her.
You knew my mother? What was she like? Kind, beautiful, and very, very driven. I'm sure your father has told you.
He doesn't tell me much.
I was working on another project with First Stage called The Molehill Stories. And I was talking to the artistic director, Jeff Frank. And I was telling him about, we were talking about ideas, plays that I was working on. I said, you know what, I've got a new idea for a play. And so I told him it's called Luchadora, and it's about a girl who discovers that her grandmother was a luchadora, was a masked wrestler. And Jeff Frank, the artistic director, he commissioned me to write the play for First Stage.
Why do you have my briefcase? You left it at my house the last time you were there. I was returning.
You didn't look inside it, did you? And don't tell me something that's untrue. Nana Lupita knows when you're lying.
Alvaro and I worked together on a piece called Molehill Stories with Danny Kepper from Danceworks. And I asked him what he wanted to write next, and he said he had this idea that he'd been thinking about for a long time, sort of inspired by the Chinese legend of Mulan, but translated through the prism of Mexican culture. So he shared with me the idea of, well, what would happen if this young girl found a lucha libre wrestling mask? It sounded fascinating to me. I was excited on multiple levels, and so I said, well, let's do that.
I don't know why I'm yelling. No one is out here.
It's too hot.
Lupita's, she doesn't like being told no. She's very stubborn. She wants to do things that defines being a girl. She wants to be herself. She doesn't want to be labeled as, oh, only girls can do this. She can only do girl things. She likes to break those boundaries, and that's a boy thing or a girl thing. She likes to break those boundaries and say, everyone can do this.
Lupita, did we sell out?
Hi, Papi.
Hi, Mr. Guerrero.
Give it to me straight. Can I finally retire?
We never sold one flower all day. It's too hot.
Too hot?
I started First Stage when I was 5 years old. So they did a bunch of classes, then every year I've been going back, doing more classes. So I've been going there for 10 years now, doing different improv classes, scene work classes. Then this year I got into a group called Young Company, where we have college level master classes.
She's gonna say no, just ask. Papi, let me drop it up for you.
I can do it later.
What did I tell you? You give up too easily.
This was about 2 years ago that we've been working on it, and so I think it was about 6 months after I got my contract that I turned in the first draft. And yet from then, I mean, it's been, you know, from that point till now, we're on draft number 12, so I've continued to rework the story.
I'm Black Shadow. El Santo. El Santo, wow.
I've had some older ladies in their like 50s and 60s who usher here, and so they're not here with their kids or their family, but they've seen the show and they come up to me and say, you know what, I love this show. This show speaks to me.
Mascararosa, come out wherever you are, and honor my father. I, El Hijo, challenge you.
What's really awesome is during the intermission, First Stage has a fundraiser, and one of their fundraisers is they're selling lucha libre masks. And you see a lot of these kids, boys and girls, buying the masks, and they're sitting in the audience for the second act of the play, watching the wrestling match. And so I mean, I feel like a kid again because I've created this event.
I know who her favorite luchador was.
Peter, what's that? Who was it?
Your friends need you.
Who was my mother's favorite luchador? Please, tell me.
Mascararosa.
I don't know who that is.
Your father does.
There's the other kid actors in the show. We are all good friends, so it's like it kind of helps when we're on stage and we have this nice chemistry on stage and off stage. It makes the show so much fun because we're doing this with a bunch of friends who also love this profession and wants to do it for a living. So it's kind of fun to see all the other actors and play off their different energies because each person brings their own energy to the table.
You a boy or a girl? Doesn't matter.
You think you're tough?
Let me go.
Tell your friends to back off.
You tell him.
Okay. Okay, back up, guys.
There's a few messages. I mean, I think number one is that, that our grandparents have stories. We just need to listen to those stories. Sometimes I think, even as a kid, I don't think I ever listened to as many stories as I could have that my grandparents could tell me. It's also about girls can do anything. Girls can do those things that we don't traditionally see them do, like boxing, like play football, like lucha libre. Do these roles that we automatically assign to men. So just the idea of getting this play produced was definitely one of my goals, but having a story that I can share with my son is 5 years old, and what I love about working with First Stage is that I get to tell those stories that I wanted to hear as a kid and that I want to share with my own son.
I'm really hopeful that this play goes on to have a further life. It's First Stage's. We have a commitment to developing new work for our audiences here in Milwaukee, and that's a part of why we wanted to tell this story. But we have a larger commitment to the field of theater for young people in the nation. And this is a story that deserves to be told time and time again around the country, so I really hope that happens.
But when I touched it, something told me this mask was special. Very special.
I couldn't have asked for anything else, and this is my first time having my play in such a large main stage theater. This has never happened to me before, and so, like I said, it's been a dream, and I've just been very grateful for every opportunity, for this opportunity that's come to me.